Hi, here is my explanation of all of my visual assistants for Valerian and how I would explain them to his mom. And so my first one is a power card. And this power card is a visual support tool that uses a child's favorite character, which his is Shrek, hero or interest to teach or remind them how to handle a specific behavior or routine or challenge. And it's a short story with a script of the character's point of view, um, and just steps for the child to follow. And so the instructions for how to do this is you introduce the character. So she could say, like, Shrek made this for you. Read the little story together, teach the steps that are on the card, um, use it during the routine. And this one is because he's scared to brush his teeth. And then reinforce and fade. So we'll praise him for doing the steps. And the goal, again, is to use this until he relies on it less. And you already know what it says because I turned it in already. So the next one would be a transition card. And this is a card that would let him know that a change is coming. His favorite thing to do is play in the yard with rocks. That's why I chose this for him and thought it was really cute. And so to explain this to her, I would tell her that she's going to give him the card before the change is going to happen, or hold it up a few minutes and just say it's almost time to switch. She'll explain the next activity, which is going to be from, hey, we're going to go from outside to inside, with this card specifically. So he knows exactly what's going to have next. If she wants, I think that her ABA does utilize timers, so she could also put a timer with this, which would work really well. And she's going to do this consistently, and every time the transition happens, and this helps him to build the predictability of what this card means, and then again reinforce and try to fade out. Next one was my visual task analysis, and I can explain to her as it's a step-by-step breakdown of a routine, obviously through pictures and words, taking a bigger task like brushing his teeth, and breaking into small doable steps, and the pictures help him see exactly what he needs to do next. And so in order to use this, I'm going to tell her that she's going to introduce the steps. Excuse me. So these pictures show the steps of what we're going to do today. Model and follow along with each step, doing it together while matching with the picture. Right now, like, the next step for this would technically be to have them do it independently, but it's going to take him a minute because he's scared. But I think if she just keeps doing this, that they'll be okay. She's going to keep this right in the bathroom, right on the wall, next to the sink, so he can look at it and follow it and all of the things. And then, of course, with all goals, it's to reinforce and praise and fade the visual over time. So the next one is a surprise card. She did say that they don't have surprises very often because he's got such a strict schedule. But I'll explain this to her. It's a visual tool to prepare Valerian for unexpected change in their routine, and it helps reduce anxiety by showing that something different is happening today. In his case, which would usually be a schedule change or like a change in activity. And then I will instruct her to use it to show it to him before the change happens, of course. Hold up the card as soon as I know the change is coming, and let him know that we're going to have a surprise. Or, she could say a wee bit swampy change is coming, as Shrek would say. Then explain the change in simple words. Just, we are going to the grocery store today, not therapy. Not over explain it. Keep everything calm and positive. Repeat, review, and then again reinforce when he handles it correctly, and try to fade eventually with that too. So now a social story, I will explain to her. This is my final of that one with the rings. I didn't have a 3-hole punch, so I did the best I could, and I told her, and she's okay with it. So I will explain this to her as a short, supportive story that teaches child how to understand a situation, routine, or behavior. And again, this is for teeth brushing as well. This is really the only thing that he's struggling with and mom's biggest concern. So almost everything has to do with toothbrushing, if that's, or teeth brushing, if that's why you were wondering. So it does use, I'll let her know it's simple, clear language, clear pictures, positive explanation of everything that will happen. So I'll instruct her to use this to, when he's calm, we'll read it to him. It doesn't have to be right before he brushes his teeth or anything. I kept everything as short as possible. So read it when he's calm. Read it before the situation, like a preview of what they're going to do, to use simple and consistent language along with it, to model and practice the skill, and keep rereading it as needed. And so I will probably have her do the power card and the social story at the same time, and then, you know, take them to this in the bathroom. And I think those 3 things will work together inside, and I'm hoping that they all work very well for him. I worked really hard on them, and thank you for your kind words about them. It made my day. Have a good one.